I was 34 years old when my world changed. Before that day, I believed I was a lucky woman. I had a peaceful home, a caring husband, a stable life, and a marriage built on trust. At least, that is what I believed. I met my husband, Adil, when I was 23. We were introduced through family. At first, we were strangers, speaking carefully, politely, awkwardly, but slowly, something soft and beautiful grew between us. He was not very talkative. He never used dramatic words. He was calm, gentle, respectful. The kind of man who listened more than he spoke. And sometimes, that kind of quiet care enters the heart deeply. After 1 year, we got married. Our wedding was simple. No luxury, no showing off. Only close family, prayers, and sincere happiness. We moved into a small apartment. It was not perfect, but it was warm. Every morning he made tea for me. Every night, we talked about our future. A better house, traveling together, building a beautiful life, and yes, children. 2 children, he used to say. 1 boy, 1 girl. I laughed and replied, "Let us first see what Allah gives us." We were happy, truly happy. But after 2 years, there was still no pregnancy. At first, I did not worry. I thought these things take time. My husband always said, "Good things come late." I trusted him. But months turned into years, and slowly, what was once patience became pain. People began asking questions. When will we hear good news? You have been married long enough now. Maybe you should see a doctor. I smiled every time. Pretended I was fine. But inside, each question felt heavy. At night, I lay awake thinking, praying, wondering. One evening, I gathered courage and said softly, "Adil, maybe we should visit a doctor." He became quiet, then nodded. "Yes, maybe we should." We went together. The doctor was kind and professional. He said simply, "Both husband and wife should do tests." I agreed, immediately. But Adil hesitated. I will do mine later," he said. I thought maybe he felt shy. So I completed my tests first. When the results came, the doctor smiled. "You are healthy. Everything looks normal." I felt relief, but also confusion. If I was fine, then what was the issue? That night, I told him gently, "My reports are okay. Now it is your turn." He smiled, but something about that smile felt false. "Yes, soon," he said. Days passed, then weeks, then months. He never went. Whenever I mentioned it, he changed the topic. At first, I ignored it, but then I noticed changes in him. He became quieter, not rude, not angry. He still cared for me, still fulfilled responsibilities, still brought medicine when I was sick, still asked if I had eaten, but emotionally, he was far away, like a man living beside me with a locked heart. Sometimes I woke up late at night and saw him sitting alone in darkness, thinking, silent. When I asked, "What happened?" he always replied, "Nothing." But I knew it was not nothing. There was something hidden inside him, something standing between us. Years passed. We stopped talking about children, not because we no longer wanted them, but because the topic had become painful. Relatives whispered. Neighbors guessed. Some blamed me quietly. Some suspected him quietly. But no one knew the truth, and neither did I. After 5 years, I stopped asking questions. I focused on peace, keeping the house calm, keeping life normal. But something inside me always felt incomplete. 10 years passed this way. 10 years of marriage, 10 years of care, 10 years of love, and 10 years of silence. Until one ordinary afternoon, everything changed. My husband had gone to work. I was cleaning the house. I decided to organize his cupboard, something I had never done before. He liked privacy, and I respected that. But that day, for reasons I still cannot explain, I reached toward the back shelf. There I found a small dusty box. Old, hidden, forgotten. My heartbeat changed. I picked it up. For a moment, I thought, no, I should not open this. Then another thought came. If it is harmless, why is it hidden? Slowly, I opened it. Inside were old papers, documents, receipts, and one envelope. My name was written on it. My hands began to shake. Why would he write to me and never give it? I opened the envelope. Inside was a medical report, dated 10 years earlier, the time we first visited the doctor. My eyes moved across the page, then stopped. One line, one sentence, one truth. Very low fertility chances. It was Adil's report, not mine. I could not breathe. I read it again, then again. 10 years. He had known for 10 years. He knew the truth, and never told me. Tears filled my eyes. Not because he could not have children, but because he had hidden this pain alone. Because he let me live in confusion. Because he did not trust me enough to stand beside him. I sat on the floor holding that paper, and suddenly, everything made sense. His hesitation, his distance, his silence. All of it. Then I noticed another folded paper, a letter, for me, never given. My hands trembled as I opened it. I began to read. Sana, if you are reading this, it means I failed. Failed as a husband. Failed as a man. Today, I learned the truth. The problem is not you. It is me. I do not know how to tell you. I do not know how to face your eyes. You deserve happiness. You deserve children. You deserve a better life. But I am afraid. Afraid you will leave me. Afraid I will lose you. So I chose silence. Maybe it is selfish. Maybe it is wrong. But I do not have courage. I love you more than anything. And because I love you, I am scared. If one day you find out, forgive me. Adil. By the time I finished reading, I was crying uncontrollably. I was not angry. I was heartbroken. Not because of infertility, but because the man I loved had suffered alone for 10 years. Because he carried shame I never gave him. Because he feared rejection inside a marriage built on love. That evening, I waited for him. The house felt different. The walls knew the truth now. When he entered, he smiled, like always. How was your day? He asked. I looked at him carefully. For the first time, I saw fear in his eyes. I held the report in my hand. Adil. We need to talk. I know, Adi. His face lost color. He sat down slowly. His hands shook. And after 10 years, our silence finally broke. He cried, before speaking, quiet tears. The tears of a man exhausted by hiding. I was ashamed, he said. I thought if you knew, you would hate me. My eyes filled again. Hate you? I whispered. I hated the distance, not you. He looked broken. I wanted to tell you many times. Then why didn't you? I asked. Because every year I waited for courage, and every year I became weaker. That night, we spoke honestly for the first time in years, about pain, about fear, about children, about society, about loneliness inside marriage, and about love, real love, the kind that survives after illusions die. We cried together, then we prayed together, then we made a new promise. No more silence. No more silence. No more pretending. No more carrying pain alone. Whether life gave us children through treatment, adoption, or not at all, we would face it together. Months later, people still asked questions. But now I smiled differently. Now I was no longer confused, no longer alone in uncertainty. We had become partners again, not just husband and wife, two wounded people rebuilding trust. One evening, while drinking tea, he said softly, I thought truth would destroy us. I smiled. No, silence almost did. This story taught me something powerful. Relationships rarely break because of hardship alone. They break because hardship is hidden. Because pride replaces honesty. Because fear replaces communication. Because two people sleep side by side, yet suffer separately. Truth may hurt for a moment, but silence can wound for years. And remember this: secrets may protect the ego, but honesty protects love. Thank you for listening to my story. Tell me in the comments, can love survive a truth hidden for years?